Hey everybody, Jim Sammons here, the Kayak Fishing Show live, as always brought to you by all these great sponsors. Scrolling across the bottom, Ballast Point Brewing Company, Seaguar, Jackson Kayak, Warner Paddle shirt, Standard Horizon. Somebody's asking about radios the other day, and Standard Horizon are hands down the best. I've been using them forever. Yak Yak, Siegler Reels, Band of Anglers, Raymarine, NRS, and Torpedo, which I'm really looking forward to actually using my Torpedo soon as I'm able to fish again, which it's getting close. Going to go to ICAST here in a couple of weeks, and then I am staying in Florida for a few days and actually going to be fishing. So hopefully the arm is moving a little better than by then. But thankfully it's my left arm. I'm right-handed, so we are just bringing fly rods. So I think I can fly cast and strip with my left hand low. So hopefully, if nothing else, we will have a good time. I'm going with Jameson Redding, and if nothing else, I'm sure we'll have a few beers and drive around in a boat and have a good time. So anybody who's new to our shows, we are here every Tuesday. Well, I should say almost every Tuesday and Thursday, airing older episodes of the Kayak Fishing Show or bringing on guests and talking about products and just general fishing and all that. You can watch us on the Kayak Fishing Show Facebook page, on the Kayak Fishing Show group page, and of course on Kayak Fishing Tales, our YouTube channel. If you do that, though, make sure that you do subscribe and hit for notifications. Also, if you're watching on the Facebook page, give us a thumbs up. Anytime you interact with the page, you are just more likely to be notified when we post stuff or when we go live. And if you want to see this stuff on a regular basis, I mean, you can pretty much count on us being here every Tuesday and Thursday. But if you want to see the other stuff, make sure you engage with the page. Like I said, I'm generally here every Tuesday and Thursday. I will not be here this Thursday. I actually I'm going to go get an injection in my back. So, dealing with shoulder, dealing with the back, old and falling apart. But they just called me actually this morning, and I was able to get an appointment in there to get this epidural injection, and which I'm really happy about, because if anything kills me, it's my back. Absolutely kills me when I have to go to ICAST and just being on your feet all that time. And so having the epidural injection should definitely help with that. But like I said, the YouTube channel is kayakfishingtales.com. And again, if you hit for notifications on that and subscribe, then again, you'll more likely to be notified. I was hoping I was going to have a guest here today, James McBeath, but apparently he's not around because he didn't get back to me. But this was a pretty epic trip. I mean, this is where we're fishing. I think I might even be in this picture somewhere. Oh, standing there. We went to Acklins Island in the Bahamas. And Acklins Island is the more southerly of the Bahamas, one of the most southerly islands, and just off of Cuba. And it's just absolutely amazing. It was a bit of a mission to get there, mainly because we had to stay, I think, where did we stay? Nassau? I don't remember now. It's a few years ago. But we had to stay in Nassau and then take a small flight over. So we had one night on the Big Island, which is documented here in the show, as I recall. And the problem with that is, I mean, I'm not going to lie, stuff in the Bahamas is expensive. Meals, food, drinks, lodging, everything was expensive in the Bahamas. But once we got to Acklins Island and we were at the Salina Point Fishing Lodge, it's all inclusive, other than our beers, which there was a lot of. Super remote. I mean, we literally, I don't remember how many days we fished, at least 5, and we never saw another angler on the water anywhere. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. The water clarity, this blue water when we went to the blue water and took the kayaks out we mainly stayed, I can't get my sides right, in this water here, and wade fished. The problem was, as happens to me, it seems like every stinking shoot, the wind howled. And the first day we towed the kayaks, we towed them over to an area where we figured we'd have some shelter, and then we would fish the kayaks around this area, but it was still howling. I mean, it's just, it wasn't fishable by kayak. So we spent a good portion of this trip actually wade fishing. The wind did die down, and then we did some offshore fishing, which was, like I said, just absolutely beautiful water. I wish I had a little bit more time to actually figure it out, because we didn't have a guide or anything. This was kind of a self-guided trip. So I wish we had a little bit more time to kind of figure out this offshore fishery right there, an extra day or so. Because we had one calm day, and then the other day that we fished offshore was pretty windy again. But it was just a great trip with great people. And it was actually funny is I had been in Thailand, family trip. My wife and I had gone to Thailand and came home, and I was only at home for a week, and went to Acklins Island in the Bahamas. And this was literally right when everything was shutting down for COVID. And we were not really sure what the situation was going to be like for us getting back. And I think literally like right when I got home, everything just shut down completely. So we were lucky to be able to get back and with relatively no problems. But we were staying connected and trying to, staying on top of things. But it was a weird time, as I'm sure you all remember, that whole beginning of COVID and just not knowing. Liam, how are you? Thanks for always being the first one to check in. I appreciate it. Jane Wilson, how are you? Thank you for joining us from Florida, I'm sure. And of course, we always like when people check in. Let us know where you're checking in from. Hey, Gene, try to get James to get on here. I couldn't get a hold of him today because I was hoping he could join me and we could swap some stories about this trip. But like I said, it was even with the wind and everything we went through as far as that, it was great. And when it calmed down, I mean, I don't fly fish a ton, so I'm certainly not a great caster in the wind. Spotting bonefish when you're not used to it, they really are a ghost in the water. And when you put a lot of wind on it, it makes it very, very tough to spot these fish. So all those things combined, and it would have been nice if we could have been in our kayaks having a little bit higher angle to spot the fish, but it was tough. But then the days that it calmed down and then your eyes got kind of used to it, you start seeing these fish. It was amazing. I don't know if it was the wind or what, but we actually found some fish really, really up inside of an area with like mangroves and stuff, but mangrove sprouts, here and here and here. So we're kind of weeding our way through them. And there it wasn't so much sandy, it was kind of muddy. So you were either sinking in the mud or sliding in the mud and trying not to spook these fish. And then when you hooked one, trying to land it without it wrapping around a mangrove sprout. It was just wild. But like I said, we walked and walked. I've never done any kind of wade fishing like that, where just like every day was walking and walking and walking in the water. We were just beat up afterwards, but it was so fun. So fun. So
this week on the Kayak Fishing Show, we are at Acklins Island, Bahamas. I'm hooking up with my good buddy, James McBeath. We're going after bonefish, permit, tuna, whatever fish we can find at this beautiful location. Stick around. The Kayak Fishing Show is brought to you by Seagar, the inventor and perfecter of fluorocarbon fishing lines and leaders. We landed here in Nassau, Bahamas. We've got a day before we head to Acklins Island, and James realized that he lost his lucky hat. So I have volunteered to help him find a hat. So he's going that way, I'm going that way.
It's a hat. We're literally where hats are made, like by hand. And I haven't quite found the one for me. I'm like, it's 5:30, they're closing down right now. There's no way. I hope Jim finds a hat. I'm pretty sure Jim's working on it. Jimmy. Yeah, I know, I'm still looking. It's like 5:30 and I need to get that hat or I'm gonna fry. Did you find anything?
Thank you.
You've been looking, right? All right, I got one more spot. I like the drawstring.
Make you a Bahama Papa.
I really hope Jim's found a hat, because I'm not having any luck at all.
Okay, go.
No Roman, no cry. No woman, no cry.
Well, I searched and I searched, and I finally found James a hat yesterday. And this morning we jumped on the plane to Salina Point Bonefish Lodge on Acklins Island. Looking out the window here, it's a lot of whitecap, so it's predicted to be pretty windy for the first 2 days and then die off. So looking forward to a really good trip. Can't wait to land.
When we arrived, Felton picked us up, brought us to the lodge.
Felton Rowland is the owner of Salina Point Bonefish Lodge. It's situated in the middle of nowhere. There's absolutely nobody around. We drove probably for about 40 miles, didn't see a single person, and to this moment, still haven't seen anybody else but us.
Spent some time gearing up, but the weather has really moved in. It's very, very windy, raining. We're hoping it'll die down later this evening. We might get a chance to go fishing, but I think we're gonna have a chance to kick back and relax. But if you gotta kick back and relax, this remote place is a great place to do it.
Yeah, the Kayak Fishing Show curse. Wind, rain, everywhere.
So our first day of fishing, we got up nice and early, had a good breakfast, got our kayaks all rigged up, and made a run across the large bay to the first fishing spot. Hoping to kind of get
look at those white
this
caps.
area out of the wind. I mean, it was already blowing 20 miles an hour, but you know, the signs were good that we would at least try to get a little bit of shelter from the wind and get on some fish. Dude, that was a little bonefish, was cruising right here, right next to me. And of course, it was too close for me to cast to. He's on the board!
So I'm gonna go crowd Jim for a bit. He loves it. You know, when he catches a fish, everybody joins him. Here I come, Jim.
James is on.
I got a nice little mangrove snapper on the Bend Anglers. You can see the rescinding hook that comes out, pulls it out, gets it away from the bait so the bait doesn't get wrecked by that teeth. And we got a snapper. Okay, cheers.
That is a spool tack lure.
Day one, we're just gonna stick it out here and see if it works. The wind is supposed to be dying tomorrow, so hopefully it's gonna get better.
It didn't. So there was a comment here. Eric says, hello from Lake Wiley, South Carolina, saddling a Hobie Outback, Hobie Outback 2022, brand new boat, and seagrass green. Well, I got notification my Jackson Kayak NAR is going to be here sometime soon. At least I got notification that it's being built. So I should have a new kayak soon. And since it's a pedal drive, at least I don't have to worry about my shoulder for a bit. Gene, you were asking, always meant to ask what wading shoes you used on this trip. Jameson was actually on this trip as well, and he was wearing wetsuit booties, which was not a good choice. James had wading boots. They were okay. I really liked what I had. I had some from Simms, and I don't know if they make them any longer, but they had a built-in gaiter. And then you still got sand in them, and there's nothing worse than having sand against your heel. So I also wore a neoprene NRS sock. I actually just saw those in my office here like yesterday. Well, I don't see them. Not handy anyway. But an NRS has these really nice little neoprene socks that fit really well in my Simms wading boots. And perfect combination for me. They're wet waders, so they weren't meant to be worn over waders. These were meant to be worn just as a boot. And like I said, so they had their own little built-in gaiter, if you will. So a neoprene sock that came up tight on your ankle that still didn't quite keep the sand out for me. So wearing the additional neoprene bootie, really thin neoprene sock, worked really, really well for me. And those were from Simms. Of course, the problem with Simms, I mean, Simms makes great stuff. Their quality is top notch, but Simms is a bit spendy. But I figured I wanted to be comfortable. So I invested in a good pair of wading boots. Yeah, exactly. Neoprene socks. Just to keep that from, like I said, if it gets inside the boot and then it's on your heel, I had that happen. Actually, the first time I went to the Bahamas we knew we were going to be doing some wade fishing, and I just wore the Simms boots, and I got some sand in there, and it just rubbed my heel raw. So the addition of the neoprene sock inside that came up, I don't know, just not mid-calf, but it came up higher than the boot, maybe about that much, and made a world of difference in how comfortable I was. So let's keep her going. These black parts here are built-in commercial brakes for the show. So, and that's how they're given to me. So we just talked through them. Hey, congratulations to the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup.
The Kayak Fishing Show is brought to you by Seagar, the inventor and perfecter of fluorocarbon fishing lines and leaders. Ray Marine, simply superior. Jackson Kayak, outdoor to the core. Yak Attack,
outdoor,
make it yours. Kotat, manufacturing paddle gear in Arcata, California for more than 50 years. Werner, a great fishing paddle is a great paddling paddle, and that's a Werner paddle. So yesterday was super windy. Today is a little less windy, but still very, very windy. We actually went and eyeballed an area with some beautiful blue water this morning. So once that wind dies down, all this is going to be so much more fishable in some of the most beautiful water I've ever seen.
We're going to do a lot of wading today and already seeing fish.
Just a lot of walking, a lot of hunting. Finally saw a few bonefish. I saw 3 of them kind of in line. And for once, I actually made a good cast. And I put it right in front, and I just saw the fish turn on it, and boom, I was on. I have not caught a lot of bonefish, but man, they're so fast and so exciting, so strong. I really, really enjoyed it, and it made all that walking worthwhile.
Oh man, what a struggle this has been in this wind. Finally got one in the right position that I could actually cast to with the wind. Whew. Whew.
Looks like Jimmy saw a couple of bones, so
I'm gonna do what I did yesterday, just go right next to him. He loves that, loves it. Hey Jimmy, wait for me. Kaboosh, kaboosh, kaboosh.
So I know we're wade fishing, so it may seem odd that I'm wearing my PFD, but honestly, it's kind of nice because it's got, you know, the little fly patch here. It's got all the pockets, so I can keep some extra line, leader, and stuff in here. My radio, you know, I've attached a little dry bag to the side strap, so I've got some more line and stuff in here. So it's actually, like I said, although I don't need it for wading necessarily, but it's just like a nice fly fishing vest, really. So I can have all my gear right here in this nice Kokatat Leviathan PFD.
That's what the pros do right there.
There's those boots.
Day 3, sustained 25 to 30 mile an hour winds.
It doesn't look that
So
windy.
I've decided to
but
don
it was windy.
backup hat, and I think it's already starting to work. First of all, the ride in was a lot smoother. Number 2, we've got rainbows everywhere, so it's like it's ready to happen.
And that kind of gave us a little bit of luck. We still had insane winds. We walked miles and miles across the flats, but
After 2 days, we could actually start to see the fish.
James got a really nice barracuda. I spotted it, and he made a few casts and got that fish on it. It was a great, great fish. Nice.
After a morning of waiting, pretty much for about 20 kilometers, I decided to take my CUDA rod and do a little CUDA session. And as we're getting out of the boat, coming to a second spot, Jim came across a CUDA, and I saw it in front of him. He literally went right past Jim, and then we started the tango. I think I tossed it about 5-6 times. Finally, he raced and got it, and then he missed it, and 5 more times, and he finally got it, and I brought a big toothy creature into the shore.
There you go. Nice fish, dude. That's fun. There he goes. Oh! Well, at least I finally got him to commit to it. Boom! Woo! Gave that hole a chance to reset where we saw some fish, and managed to get one. Not huge, but man. Oh! So all indications are that the wind is dying down tomorrow, and hopefully we're gonna get these kayaks out on the water and maybe get out and do some offshore stuff. So really looking forward to that.
If you have not caught bonefish before and on the fly, and like I said, I don't do a ton of fly fishing, and I've only caught bonefish a few times. They are a fish that size, they are so sporty, you know, and on the fly rod, they're just so amazingly fast. It's here, then it's here, and very powerful for their size. So if you have that opportunity,
Our stay here,
I can see why people get addicted.
Is at the Salina Point Bonefish Lodge here in Acklins Island.
We consider ourselves the premier do-it-yourself locale for the fisherman who's looking for bonefish.
Our host has been amazing. The food is amazing. The rooms are clean and comfortable. You sit on the patio and you're looking at the water. I mean, it's hard to find a cooler spot than this.
You will not see other fishermen on the flats. It's remote, but there's no roughing it here. In the morning, they have a breakfast, they take a lunch with them, and they come back to a hot, home-cooked Bahamian dinner, and hopefully a lot of beers.
There was a lot of beers. When you got to sit around because of the wind, yeah, there was a lot of beers.
Get some exercise on my arms and upper body for once.
Look
instead
at
of
this water.
my legs like we've had from walking the last few days. God, this water is amazing. Finally, got a good weather window today. Come out here and do what I love to do, and that's offshore fishing. I got my Raymarine element on here, so we're gonna be looking for some bottom structure, do some vertical jigging, but also doing some trolling along the blue water line. Hopefully get on some Dorado, Wahoo. Quite honestly, anything at this point, I'll be happy. Just paddling out here offshore, it's what I love.
So about a year ago, I met Felton at iCast, and he came running up to me and said, "Hey man, I've seen your videos from Panama. You guys need to come out to my place. We got some awesome waters." Jim's on. Not only do we have the best bonefish fishing in the world, but we have really good blue waters just offshore. And today we are out in a drop off from about 50 feet to 1,500 feet within a 10-minute paddle from shore. That's pretty good.
Well, the lodge has asked us pretty much every day to bring back some fish for dinner, but we've only been fishing bonefish, so we couldn't. So today we'll bring them back a little bit of fish. This one was caught really deep. Swim bladder's blown out, so we're gonna bring this one back, maybe have it for dinner tonight. Well, another cool thing is that's a Nassau grouper. That's another new species for me to add to the list. So, boom, I'm stoked on that.
My hat goes with the sonar on the Raymarine. It's a perfect matching hat. I got the sonar hat.
Well, we're trolling along the edge of the drop off here, and I got slammed. Ah! So that last fish, it went down over the edge of the reef and broke me off. I had fairly light line. I think I have 40 pound on here. So I'm just gonna put a little 100-pound leader on there, just a little, give me that more abrasion resistance in case we got more teeth and that sort of thing.
Everything down there is toothy.
What do you got? I can't see it. Looks like a jack.
It's a jack.
I don't even know what this is.
Jack?
Huh? New species, but no clue what it is. The jack of some sort. So I'm happy about that. We've been trolling and trolling and came inside. James got a fish, and a few casts later, I got a fish. Again, we were asked to bring some fish back to the lodge, and the guide said this is a really good tasting fish. So this one's going home with us. Right on. And I swear that's got to be 30 species on that lure at least. So, old dart spin, catches fish everywhere I go. Acklins Island, Bahamas. Salina Point Bonefish Lodge. Amazing place. If you have the opportunity, you got to come here and check it out.
You can see how close that color change is there. Like I said, it drops off really quick, and there's some really good hard structure. A little bit sharky. We did see quite a few sharks and lost some fish to sharks. But just like I said, just an awesome place. When you can go someplace and just not see other people, and to really feel that disconnected, and you can just completely unwind. So even though we didn't get in as much fishing time and
The
very
Kayak
little
Fishing
time
Show
on
is
the
brought to you
kayaks,
by
it was just
Raymarine.
phenomenal.
Simply
And the company was
superior. Werner, a great fishing paddle is a great paddling paddle, and that's a Werner paddle. A band of anglers, authentic, passionate, real. Yak Attack, make it yours. Standard Horizon, nothing takes to the water like Standard Horizon. Siegler reels, delivering the highest quality fishing reels, period.
So before this keeps going, I just want to remind everybody that we are here most every Tuesday and Thursday. I will not be here this Thursday. I'm getting a spinal injection, but I love to see the comments, love the questions. So if you have questions or comments, shoot them our way. If you're watching it on the replay, you're not watching it live, you could still throw some questions out there because I always come back and see them and I always answer any questions. I'm always happy to talk kayak fishing, and whether it's specific to the episode or just in general kayak fishing, it's what I do. I love to talk about it. So always feel free to throw your questions out there. And again, let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to see the people that are watching from all over the world. Whether you're watching here on the Kayak Fishing Show page on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. Again, the YouTube channel is kayakfishingtales.com.
All right, well, we had one last day down here in the Bahamas, and kind of had to make a choice of what we're going to do. It's too overcast and too windy to try and fish the flats for bonefish again, so we decided to try and come out offshore. It's a little sporty out here today. See how we do.
We're heading out to, looks like a beautiful little island, or at least looks like a lighthouse island. Just a little bit of blue over there, change of dip, and we're starting to see flying fish. Hopefully a good sign.
It's small. Whoa, holy cow. Something bigger just grabbed it. Holy cow, dude. I swear I hooked a small fish.
The
Something else
Tiburon.
bigger grabbed it on its way up. Oh, it's a shark. Yeah, it is a shark. So yeah, I think I had a small rockfish, a small snapper, and a shark grabbed it on its way up.
There you go. Break the hook off. It did. Cut the hook.
So yeah, I had that shark on, got him all the way up, but you know, we're super remote. Didn't want to take the chance of getting cut or something worse out here, so I had the camera boat try to help me and get that lure out of his mouth. Took the safe route. Got to do that sometimes. I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
All right, well, with these conditions, I'm sure glad we brought the Krakens down here, because this boat was made for this stuff. You know, big water, distance paddling, rough conditions. It's at home right here. So I'm pretty stoked that we brought these Jackson Krakens down here.
Well, hit something, hit it trolling out to the shallows. It's long and narrow. It could be a barracuda, but I'm not sure. Many of you know me, know that I like toothy creatures. I can't necessarily say I came here to catch barracuda, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to catch a lot of barracuda. You know, there's nothing I like doing than sight fishing for predator fish, and my last day, sure enough, I got another barracuda.
What you got?
Guess.
Barracuda.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
There you go. Oh, big wave. There we go. I put a little 80-pound Seagar Premier fluorocarbon between me and the teeth, and I won. Well, technically the Seagar won.
This area where we were fishing right here was super fishy, but the problem was that wind and swell was all pushing, and we kept ending up in shallow. So, you know, you'd fish for a bit, then have to go back out and fish for a bit. This would actually have been a good, I mean, as much as I love the Kraken, this is one of those times like, well, a pedal boat wouldn't have been so bad. The Nar would have been a great one right there, just because you could stay over that drop off. Also, when you were fighting fish, a lot of times the fish would go over the drop off and we were getting busted off. So, I mean, I love paddling, but sometimes the pedal boat makes sense. And in that type of conditions, I think it would have been beneficial. And we probably would have landed a lot more fish. BC Outdoors, Watcher from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. I'm entertaining you at work. Well, I'm glad we can entertain. Excuse me. Yes, Gene, all small fish become bait fish.
But I'll take full credit for that. I think it's another shark. Whoa, tough fish though. That's quality fish.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, and there he goes. Catch and release. We were letting him go anyway. Once again on that Band of Anglers Hyperlastic prototype. Barracuda. Well, that wraps up our time here at Salina Point Bonefish Lodge. We had a great time under some very tough conditions. Super remote lodge, absolutely amazing. Can't thank Felton enough for his hospitality at the lodge, and my buddy James McBeath for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're going out this weekend going fishing, please remember, always wear your PFD and keep your paddle right side up. Take care.
Look at this place. Just nothing around it. And flats that go on forever. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal place. I can't say enough about how great that place was. And I mean, we ate well, and we drank well. We laughed a lot. Walked miles and miles walking those flats. Like I said, if we hadn't had wind, I mean, I can't imagine how good this trip would have been. Just being able to get out there and actually stand up, paddle the flats, and to be able to really concentrate more on the offshore, which is really more my thing anyway. But either one, the availability of that offshore just right there. I mean, the blue water is so close. That absolutely phenomenal destination, and you know, those Krakens are still sitting there. So if you do want to go down there, they do have the kayaks still. Gene, how do we get our kayaks and gear to the destinations? It really all depends on the place. A lot of times, if there's somebody on location, you know, if they have kayaks, then obviously we try to hook up with them. But in situations like this, you know, this is a remote destination, but they have to get gear to them. So they are more used to dealing with freight forwarders. So our deal was always that we would get the kayaks to a freight forwarder, and then the destination would take care of getting them from the freight forwarder to where they are, and they get to keep the kayaks. So they pay for that shipping from the freight forwarder on, and that's how we've always done it. Some places were obviously easier than others. Probably the worst that we ever did, well, two of them were pretty tough. We went to Africa, we went to Uganda, and getting the kayaks there, we shipped them 6 months in advance, and they literally arrived like a day before we did. And then we had to pay bribes to get them out of customs. That was a nightmare. The other one that was very difficult was when we went down to, one was the Nile, the other one's going down to the Amazon, down in Brazil. And the problem with Brazil is they charge insane amount of duty fees, import fees. So with them, I mean, literally when we went and did that one, the guy, we had that same deal. We would get him to the freight forwarder, then he would bring them in. And then he was like, we had started talking about doing another trip with him to another destination that he had. And he's like, nope, I can't do it. He goes, it cost him twice as much, you know, whether the kayak fee was this amount. And I mean, just in fees, he was paying like $3,000 per kayak. So that was a big problem. That's why I was actually so excited about getting with NRS and their new inflatables, because with the inflatables are so much higher quality now that, I mean, I can carry it on. It can be a piece of my luggage, so I can bring an inflatable and have my kayak and be pretty confident that that's going to work. And then I can just bring it back out with me. That way we're not paying any of those import fees. But it's been easier over the years, really. I mean, compared to when we first started doing it, because there weren't people all over the world kayak fishing, but now it has grown all around the world, which has made getting kayaks from people who are already there much easier. Or, for instance, shipping them there, using them for the trip, and then selling them when we were there to somebody maybe who was involved in the trip, or again, just as an exchange for them hosting us. So that's always worked pretty well. And I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of cool places around the world, and hopefully maybe I'll get back to shooting again and next year, and we'll get to go see some more cool places. Right now, everything is still on hold for me just because of the shoulders and back and COVID and sponsors and producer change and everything else. So, but hopefully I'm hoping to get back to it. So that's it for today. Again, I apologize. I won't be here again this Thursday, but we'll be back next Tuesday and Thursday probably. And then probably I won't be on for 2 weeks because, again, going to ICAST and then going to be fishing down there. I will be reporting from ICAST, though. So if there's anything you would like to see at ICAST, and you let me know, and I'll go check it out. I generally like to try to do live reports from ICAST. Last year, I couldn't. For whatever reason, while I was at ICAST last year, I could not broadcast live. The signal was so terrible that I could not connect at all. I could barely get a text out. I don't know if it was the building or what was going on, but I had terrible connection, and I couldn't do my normal live reports. Normally I'll see something cool and I'll just come on live and show it to you. And I'm hoping that's what I'll be able to do this next time as well. I was able to do it in the past, but just last year it didn't work at all. So anyway, again, I appreciate you all for joining me. I appreciate all you guys that engage, ask questions, share our videos with your friends. That helps a lot. And it means a lot to, I just want to keep these things going. Thank you, Gene. You're the big commenter today. But again, I appreciate you all. If you are going out on the water, it's going to be a busy weekend, 4th of July. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend. But if you are going to get out on the water, please be careful. Never assume boaters see you. Never assume that. And if you are going out there, always wear your PFD and keep your paddle right side up. Y'all take care.
I'm going fishing.